Hello again, friends of Dynalite. I am Adam Wirtz, system expert here in the United States. Home automation is one of my favorite hobbies, and I love to nerd out about sensor programming and integration. But today I'm going to talk about something even more esoteric: bathroom keypad engraving. I know you're thinking, how can I cover such a rich topic in such a short video? But trust me, there's a lot here we can get in a very small time frame. Getting the engraving on a keypad right is critical to the success of a project. It's where the rubber meets the road. This is where the customer interacts with the system. The key is to balance simplicity and ease of use with leveraging the power of a lighting control system. Getting that balance right is the difference between an amazing project or your wife telling you to rip it out and put the mech switches back in. Okay, first, let's talk about the different loads you'd have in a bathroom. There's going to be undoubtedly several lighting loads and probably some sort of exhaust fan. You may even have something like floorboard heaters or motorized shades. That's what makes this space so interesting compared to most other rooms in a house or a building, is that you have all these different integrations happening that all have to fit onto one or maybe two user interfaces seamlessly. Starting with the lighting loads, in a modern luxury bathroom, we're talking about lots and lots of lighting loads. You may be tempted to do granular control and have a button for each channel, but that is not the right way to do it. This is a bathroom, not a ballroom. Use scene control and keep it simple. There are only so many presets people actually want to use. And avoid manual dimming. If you have the right presets, it's completely unnecessary and no one will use it. Try to limit yourself to just a handful of presets. An on preset, one for day and for night, an off, a bright, and a dim. That's really all we need. And if we do it right, using preset offset, we can get all of that with just 3 buttons and a little bit of tasking. The goal should be that every time somebody enters the bathroom, they just press the on button and it automatically takes them to the right level for the right time of day. We do this using preset offset. I covered that in my previous video, but here's a brief recap. First, our preset table. You can see that we have a set of presets for day and a set for night so that we can use preset offset and reset preset to shift the brightness based on time of day. Then we put in just a little bit of tasking so that if you double press the on button, it takes you to the bright preset, taking the lights to full, regardless of the time of day. Either having that tasking or a dedicated bright button is critical for managing marital bliss when your wife or daughters need to put on makeup. Next up, the exhaust fan. The main purpose here is to remove humidity when someone's in the shower. But don't be tempted to just buy a fan that has a humidity sensor in it and turns on automatically. You want to leverage the power of the system so that you can manually turn that fan on if you need to on Taco Tuesday. However, to avoid the embarrassing situation of leaving the fan on all day, we use a small amount of tasking so that anytime we turn the fan on, it runs for about 40 minutes. Now we have the fan and the lights in a simple, intuitive 4-button switch. 4 buttons seems to be a threshold where anyone can walk up to the switch, and by the time their finger gets to it, they know which button they want to press. Anything more than that, and they're going to have to hesitate and actually read the buttons to figure it out. This is a bigger problem in a hospitality guest room project or like an Airbnb than in a residence that has the same occupants every day, but the principle still stands. Buttons should not be expanded beyond necessity. But what if we do have window coverings? There's a couple options that I think work pretty well. The first would be to expand out to a 6-button panel to have dedicated buttons for shades. Using text for the lighting scenes and icons for the shades makes it very intuitive which services are on which buttons. With an Antumbra, that's easy because there's 6 buttons. With a Revolution, you have to go up to 8, but that's okay. We can just leave 2 blank buttons. And the nice thing about this is that if we put the fan and the shades on the bottom and the lighting on the top, we can use colors to differentiate between them, and it's a very clear separation of services. Another option that works well in a bedroom would be to have a 4 button for lights right next to a 2 button for shades. That way, there's a clear differentiation between which controls what. And there you have it, my advice for residential bathroom engraving, a topic near and dear to my heart. Some of you, especially our friends in the Middle East, specialize in residential controls. So do me a favor, leave a comment and let us know what things you like to do in a residential project, or whether you prefer the halo of the Antumbra or the color changing of the revolutions for your projects. You can leave a comment below. Thanks.